You, peace world, what is going on? I'm over here daydreaming. Welcome to another episode of Substantial Weekly. Of course, my name is Substantial. Welcome to the show. Hope y'all are doing well. I just realized I ain't got no damn headphones. And so we're going to be working it out. I might take a quick break or whatever at some point just so I can get some more stuff set up. But first, man, out the gate, let me just go ahead and apologize to y'all. One, for today starting late, and two, for, I don't know if it's like, I think my Instagram was running in the background. But anyway, also for missing last week, man, a lot of stuff has been going on with my family, and yeah, man, just crazy times or whatever, both in the world and my personal life, all of that. Last week, my family and I, we had to bury a loved one. As some of you know, my family has suffered a lot of losses this year, and kind of bracing ourselves for more things to come, just based on things that were already happening and not so great news. So between that, and then obviously I was just out in San Francisco doing my thing, which was a really dope experience. So we'll talk about that too, man, and all that good stuff, man. But I am super happy to be here with y'all. Really grateful that y'all come through for me week after week. And I hate missing an episode, especially without giving y'all proper notice. Cause I try to pride myself on being consistent. Can't have an alias like Mr. Consistent and then not be consistent. You know what I mean? But I appreciate the love, support, y'all making time for me and stuff like that, and showing up for me even sometimes when I'm not always as available as I would like to be. But yeah, man, shout out to y'all for being the great people that y'all are, and for making time for me per usual. But let's get into it, man. Peace to everybody in the chat. Chat's already popping today. What up, Sal? Peace to you. Yazek 700. Peace to you. Chi-Town Warrior. What up, Eric? Good to see you up in here. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Soul Tiger, what's going on? Hey, man. Yeah, apologies for being late, but I'm grateful that so many of y'all showed up regardless. Chill Air Arts. Peace to you, good brother. Power Mitts, what up, man? It's been a minute. Jadishi, peace. What's going on? Namu, what up, nephew? Good to see you up in here. Man, I appreciate that, Eric. Thank you, family. Music and anime, what up, fam? Good to see you up in here, too. STEM G, peace. So, yeah, man, shout out to those of you watching while we're live. Shout out to those of you, who will watch the replay later. We got a lot of dope stuff to cover today. Yeah, man, I am super grateful that so many of y'all are available and making time and all of that good stuff. So let me see something real quick. Let me try and make sure this phone ain't going crazy while we live. Yeah. So first things first, do me a favor, man. If it's your first time watching, be sure to like the video, hit subscribe. All that good stuff. If you are willing to share the link, that's great too. Great way to help people tune in and get all these good updates. This week we got a lot to cover. We're going to talk about this new song that just dropped from Bob Alloy, that's now streaming everywhere. It was available a week early on Bandcamp. We're also going to talk about the album dropping on Bandcamp next week. We're going to talk about these Kickstarter updates, which I'm going to be posting an update to our Kickstarter page later today. So for those of you who supported the album on Kickstarter and wondering why you haven't been getting updates, no worry. I'm about to give you a live update right now, and then post some more information for y'all later. So I appreciate your patience. Just life doing the most right now. Life is doing a lot. And we are... When I say we, I'm talking about my family and then also the homies on the business tip. We are navigating to the best of our ability while still trying to make sure we do our jobs and maintain a certain level of professionalism as much as possible while also navigating tough times. So I appreciate the love and support, man, and the patience. I don't take it for granted. And just know that anytime you're not hearing from me, it's usually for good reason. It's never because I'm lazy. It's usually like today, the reason why we're starting late. And I definitely owed y'all the courtesy of at least notifying y'all in advance. But we had one of the homies, man, that I've known for a very long time. His children are like my niece and nephew. They've been calling me Uncle Stan since they could speak. And so one of them was happened to come in town and stuff. And man, I'm priding myself right now. I just talked to my sister. Shout out to my sister Stacy and my sister Lisa. I've been talking to them a lot this week. And I was talking to my sister Stacy about one of the things that I'm going to work on for myself is just trying to be a better uncle, a better sibling, a better everything. And I fall short far more than I should because I don't always make the time that I should. And so I'm doing what I can to prioritize that because, none of us know how much time we got, man. And this year has been a reminder almost every other week how little time a lot of us have. So, so I appreciate y'all understanding, man, and rocking with me regardless. Bro, Substantial, I'm going to be in Philly soon, and I'd love to do a track with you. I got 2 finished that are going to be on my EP, and I want to do a chorus for you. Just reach out. You can hit me up via imsubstantial.com. And just send me the info and send me a sample of the music if I dig it. And you have a budget and a schedule, you let me know. We'll work it out, man. And I appreciate you reaching out, Soul Tiger says, my condolences, Stan. It's never easy losing family. Super real. Super real. It has not been. And like I said, we're just kind of bracing ourselves. Because the pattern this year has been crazy. So just, prepping ourselves for whatever else this year has to offer, both the good and bad. So, but it's been a ride so far, man. Definitely do I 100% recommend it. I lost my auntie 3 days ago, and it really does hit hard losing family. Always got to enjoy the time you have together. Man, super sorry for your loss, fam. I can only imagine. I've literally lost every one of my uncles on my father's side of the family, and my mom's side of the family. So I don't have any more uncles through blood. And and so now my wife is kind of experiencing something similar. And so it's rough. It's rough, you know what I mean, to say the least. But man, what's really crazy too, man, the gift and curse of growing older. The gift is that you get a lot of time with people you love and stuff like that. The longer you're able to stick around, and God willing, they hang in there too, the more memories y'all get to make together. But the other thing that's tough about growing older is watching your loved ones go. Like, people, it's somewhat easier when they've lived a long life. It still sucks because you're not going to be able to have those conversations anymore. But it is really, really difficult. It's difficult losing any family, but when they die relatively early, and when I say relatively early, depending on what your faith is, it might feel like it's before their time, but I would hear folks, I just heard this pastor say, or this priest just said, he was like, they're not on your time, they're on God's time, right? And so while it might feel like it was before their time and stuff, if you are Christian, or depending on what your faith is, then whenever they get called home, they were called on time, right? And so that's what some faiths preached to different folks. So depends on what you believe, right? But of course, when you want more time with someone, or you think that you have more time with them, it always feels too soon, especially when there's someone younger than you. And unfortunately, since I was maybe in high school, Like, you know, I've been watching people younger than me pass on, both in my family and people in my neighborhood. So like, you know, or people my age or a little bit older and stuff like that. I mean, one of my first album had a song on it called Remembering Dave. He was, I was a senior in high school when he died, and he was a junior. You know what I mean? Died in a car accident, like like across the street from where our school was. He was only like maybe 5 minutes away from where he lived. You know what I mean? He was on his way home. So yeah, man, like it always feels too soon, you know? So definitely condolences to other people experiencing what me and my family are going through right now. I'm sending love y'all way. Sub, I didn't know that you streamed. Just wanted to take a sec to say thanks for the uplifting music and art over the years, and I hope you keep well, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, family. Yeah. So for those who don't know, yeah, man, I go live every Friday, usually at 12 noon Eastern time. You know, but today is a lot later than normal. But you know, I just wanted to make sure that one, I made time for my family earlier, and then two, we didn't miss 2 weeks in a row. So, you know, but yeah, let me load something up that was loading before. Hold up. Ever right? Because we got a lot to cover today. Yes, I think that is good. Yeah. All right, cool. So I am gonna say that, like, yo, try, for those of you who can, man, try to stick around toward the end of the show. That's when I'm gonna do the lyric breakdown for the new song, last song I'll ever write. And then next week, that song, the destination, new song that I dropped with Keon Farugi. Like, that new joint, man, has been doing really well and getting a lot of love. So I'm gonna do a lyric breakdown for that next week. I know it's been a while since we've done some lyric breakdowns, so I wanted to make sure we get back to doing that and give y'all a heads up. And what I'm gonna do that's gonna be a bit different for that is I'm gonna actually have the producer of the song come on to do the breakdown with me. Partly because the song was his idea, right? Like, a lot of times people just give me a beat and then I just do my thing. But the concept of the song, which ties into his whole album, like, this is all stuff that he really thought through. And we had like these long meetings, not super long meetings, but we would have these deep conversations about what the song meant, what the song should represent, and how this song is like kind of the cornerstone of the record, where it ties the whole story together, right? Like the whole concept. And so I thought it was fitting to have him join me on the show to tell y'all to do the lyric breakdown, because a lot of what I was doing was interpreting what he shared with me, and while also trying to accurately reflect what my real life experience has been and what my real journey has been, while also tying into what this theme for his record was. So yeah, man, it's just a really dope exploration. I think, you know, it could be really unique to have him on there talking about, like, you know, breaking down my lyrics in real time based on the conversations we had. So I'm actually, you know, excited to kind of do that for the first time. I think that's something really interesting. Let's get to a few more comments. Yeah, I do understand that definitely. Personally, I am Muslim, so we do believe that it was written before we were even born, you know. As much as I want to feel happy for loved ones going back to God, it still hurts. Yeah, it hurts. 1,000,000%. Yeah. It's one of those things. Like, I'm definitely not pretending that if you believe that that it somehow hurts less, right? But I think part of that belief system, right, is like to provide some comfort in knowing that, you know, if that's what you grew up believing, then they went home to be with God, right? And stuff. But again, that part of us, like, they are literally a part of us. Like, their DNA, like a part of their DNA runs through us, right? Their blood runs through us. So that connection, every time you lose someone, you've made some type of connection with, a little bit of you goes too. And so we do our best to have their memory live on through us. You know what I mean? My condolences to you and your lost loved ones. Also, of course, man. Thank you, family. Grand Rising, peace. Same to you, man. Cool thing about going live different times of day is you get to see some folks you don't always see on the live. So that's really cool, man. I'm glad y'all are here with us. All right, let's see. Make sure I got that piece loaded up. There were some other things I wanted to add into the mix, but I'm gonna just I'll tell you a little bit about it. And then just look out on my Instagram. My Instagram is Substantial Music. I will be doing a post about my trip to San Francisco, and I'll talk a little bit about the show and all of that today, maybe during the Q&A and all of that. But, yo, it was a great experience. It was a great experience. Shout out to those of you who came. If you missed it, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? If you live in California and you missed it, I'm judging you a little bit. Just if you lived in Northern Cali and chose not to come, I feel away. But I'm okay. I'm all right. Just letting you know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got it. Hey, look, two things I need people to stop doing. One is, man, don't hit me up to be like, oh, man, I saw you had a show, but I was busy and I couldn't. You ain't got to hit me up to say that. If I knew you were out there and you didn't come, clearly I knew you had somewhere else you had to be. And I ain't here to judge, but it don't make me feel any better. Who wants to hear from someone else? Hey, man, I know you were coming to do a thing, but you aren't my priority, so I couldn't come through. Man, keep that shit to yourself. Keep it to yourself. It's cool. It's cool. Just the next time I come through, God willing, because tomorrow ain't promised. God willing, next time I come through, you can make it. But you ain't got to hit me up to say, oh, man, I wanted to come through, but that ain't going to make me feel no better. That ain't going to make me feel no better. Because regardless, we had a great show, man. Shout out to DJ Hobb, who was with me. It was a great night. It was a great night. But on my short list of other things, oh no, the screen froze. All right, sorry, y'all. Sorry. Let me know if we're still having technical issues or whatever. If it's back to normal. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, so. Also on my short list of things I don't need people to do going forward. Hey, man, listen, when people hit me up saying, hey, come to this city, come to that city, you ain't got to tell me that. You know who you could tell that? If you know who the promoter in your area is who are throwing shows, those are the people you need to be saying this to, not me, right? Because understand, I would love to come to all of these different places, man. I would love to visit and perform in all of these different places. One of the things that happens a lot is every time Shingo goes on tour and performs somewhere, someone hits me up saying, hey, are you coming? I'm going to tell you outright, if you don't see the person who posted the event posting that I'm going to be there, more than likely I ain't coming. You know what I'm saying? More times than not, 90% of the time, that means I'm not going to be there. And it's because I didn't get the invite. That's no slight at the promoter. That's no slight or no shot at like Shingo. That's just what it is, right? But I am not the person who is responsible for booking the events. So, and I'm not a person who all the time is actively hitting up all of these places, because in some cases you are maybe one of one, or you are one of like maybe 5 to 10 people who've hit me up. And the fact of the matter is, like in some cities, I have a lot of people who follow my stuff, and in other cities, not so much. And so, but the main people y'all need to be hitting up if you want me to perform in your city is promoters, right? The people who run shows at the venues or hitting the venues up directly, especially if you ever see them posting things like, who would you like to see performing next, et cetera, right? Like all it does, like it doesn't really do anything to kind of help me make that happen by hitting me up directly. Because the fact of the matter is, you know, it's just like, yo, I can only do so much, right? And I'm usually going to make decisions based on what the analytics are showing in terms of activity. Like I know that the main cities where people around the world listen to my music, like LA is usually in the top 2, top 3, you know, across all platforms. places like New York, London, what was it, Tokyo, et cetera, right? Like a lot of the major cities around the world. And then there are smaller cities too where people like know what we're doing as well. But some of the places that people request us to go, yeah, like it just ain't happening. So one of the things we're going to talk about today is the Europe tour. And so a good example of this is there are instances where promoters do reach out and sometimes things still don't work out. So one of the shows for the Europe tour, just to let y'all know, one of the shows has been canceled. And we'll talk about the details of that later. But the Lisbon show in Portugal is no longer happening. And that's partly due to low ticket sales, right? So we'll get into details and stuff. We got a lot to cover, man. But yeah. And look, Marcus D is here to co-sign, right? Like, yo, straight up, man. You ain't got to hit me up in the You can listen. You ain't got to hit me up to say, hey, man, sorry I missed your show. That's one. Number two, you ain't got to hit me up saying, hey, come to blah, blah, blah. Hit the promoters up. Hit the venues up. You ain't got to say that to me. You know what I mean? Especially if if there's an artist that's touring in your city that you know, like I'm affiliated with, and this isn't just Shingo, it applies to whoever. Hit them up. Hit them up. You know what I'm saying? Like, because, ultimately, you hitting me up so I can hit them up just for them to basically telling me what I already know they're going to say, which is, oh, no, good. We ain't got the budget for it right now. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. And anything else there? No, I think I covered everything. And shout out to Marcus, man. It's like 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning where you are, something like that. Peace. What's going on, man? Sending love back to you. All right. Let's see. Still glad I got to meet you, Marcus, Zach, Shingo too, in Japan 2024. Yeah, man. Hey, let what this person just said, let what Jet just said be a lesson to you on why, if you see us performing somewhat nearby, it ain't even got to be in your city, but if it's close enough for you to make a cheap trip to come see us, you should come see us. Because you never know who's going to be there. When people showed up to the show in Japan, which was not a super attended show, Shingo 2 was there hanging out, just hanging out. Not only Shingo 2 was there, but Zach, Nitsua was there hanging out and performing, right? He performed with us. So was Komachi. She made a guest performance, performance there. So was Uyama Hiroto, just chilling. So was Rob Arahu. Like, if you know who Rob Arahu is, he's an amazing pianist and music producer. Super dope. These were people just hanging out at our show, and some performing. But like, sometimes it's not just about what's happening on stage. It's about the vibe and who are some of the people going to be there. Like when we did the last show in LA, I didn't know. Marcus knew. Marcus didn't tell me, I think, until like the last minute. But like, yeah, man, the homie Pace Rock came through and stuff. He didn't perform, but he was in the building just chilling. And yeah, man, that type of stuff happens, I think, far more than people realize. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, these are things you don't want to miss out on. I saw you had a show, and I went to Northern Cali. The 5-hour trip from Cal is worth. Yo, thank you, man. I appreciate that, yo. If I'm ever nearby while you're doing the show, no matter where it is in the world, I'm finding a way. I appreciate you, bro. I know, because you drove, I think, from Minnesota out to Chicago to see us rock last time. So thank you, man, to see me and the band. That was dope. All right. What up, Marcus D? Do you think Sade will ever drop a new album? I don't know. But I will never stop listening to her music. So if we're lucky enough to get a new Sade album, that would be amazing. But if we don't, thank God we got the music that we got. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. See, this is what I'm saying. You never know. You see me go live. You see me about to do a show. You see us about to do a show. You see us going live. You should swing by, because you never know who's going to be there. You never know what's going to happen. It's always a good time. Shout out to the dudes that drive 12 hours to go to a show. Those are the real road warriors. Yo, straight up, man. A dude drove from Texas to see us in LA. That was crazy. We had fans that when we performed in Seattle one year, one fan flew from Costa Rica, another one he flew to America to do a conference in Atlanta, but then saw that we had a show on a Sunday after his conference ended and caught a flight from Atlanta to Seattle, to see us rock, and then flew from Seattle back to South Korea. Crazy, man. I flew out of my country. You're a real one. We appreciate it, man. Just got back from Japan. I have to see y'all next time. That's all good. Oh, that's dope. That's dope, man. Glad you had fun. Man, y'all got me jealous. I live too far away for that shit. Yo, the craziest story from a fan who ever not drove, but like came from really far to see us live. And I know this ain't for everybody. I've said this before. I think I said this when I went live on IG the other day. Yeah, man, I don't expect everybody to do that because I know not everybody's financial situation allows them to do things like that. And I don't expect that from everybody either, just because I know that's not something I do, right? Like, I support the artists that I love in different ways. I also don't like hit up the artists who I love saying, yo, when next time you doing a show on my area? I don't, I just look up, and if they are, cool. And if they aren't, cool. They ain't gonna stop me from buying the record either way, or listening to the records. I just do what I do. But anyway, yeah, man, what was it? So the Q&5 Mega Show, shout out to Tone Deaf, shout out to Pac FM, EFAM, all the homies, man, Session, et cetera, et cetera. And we used to do these things called the Mega Show. And one year a fan sold their car. They sold their car and took the money to buy a ticket from New Zealand to come to New York City to be there the weekend of our Mega Show. That is crazy, because the Mega Show was a show where basically every artist who was on Q&5 music, from no matter where we lived in the country, some were in LA, most were in New York, some were in Kentucky, et cetera, et cetera. All the artists would fly from all around the country, come to New York to do the show. And then fans would fly from all over the world to come to be there for the show. So fans from London, New Zealand, et cetera, other parts of Europe, fans from all over the United States will all descend on New York City to see the show and make a weekend out of it. Sometimes doing like little after parties and side parties, little side quests and stuff outside of the show, and make a whole weekend out of it. That's kind of what I was about to say I was, and I might just leave it there. It's kind of what I'm trying to do with the Think Different tribute, is to turn it into like an annual like destination event for like people who are fans of mine and stuff like that, and enjoy my music, and of course some of the music I've done with my many collaborators, in particular Nujabes, hence the name Think Different. But that takes a lot of work, you know what I mean? And to do a show like that, it's really expensive. But building an amazing show like that would make people feel like when they made the trip, when they got there, it was worth it. Like last year when we did the Think Different tribute, we had people come from Vermont. This was in Virginia, but people drove from Vermont. People came from Florida. People came from Ohio. Some people came from like Colorado and LA. That was dope, and when I talked to those people after, all of them made it seem like it was worth it. And that made me feel good, man. One of the things I learned about the show that we're about to do in Madrid is that, some fans bought tickets. These fans are coming from South America. That's crazy to me, man. Yeah, man. Music is a powerful thing. So I'm grateful for that. Flew to Japan to see, I saw you the next night I landed from Utah. That is crazy, fam. Thank you, man. Once you go to Japan, you want to go back. Trust. Facts. Hopefully I go to Japan this year. I know a person who traveled all around the world in the best, most expensive places, yet Japan was their favorite. I'm excited to go one day. Yeah, it's a must for sure. Was there 2 weeks and best vacation I had since I was a kid. That's amazing. All right, y'all, let's get into it. Hold on, let me import something. And of course, if y'all got questions, y'all can start sending those in. I will do my best to answer all of them as the show goes on. Got that. Shazam, load that up. Get me some water. Okay, so we got a lot to cover today. What I forgot to mention, we don't have a goal for today. I know I have been MIA and stuff for like the last 2 weeks. But if you want to support the channel, you can do so by donating via the Super Chat, Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. If Zelle is a preferred option as well, I can add that in there for future donations. But if you do prefer Zelle, you just let me know and I can answer how to do that. But in the meantime, in between time, man, thank you for all the support. It's never mandatory, but always appreciated. So let us do our thing. Let me get down and just do my thing, baby. Shout out to the Busta Rhymes fans that got the reference. All right. So first and foremost, shout out to all of the people who are being sub-porters, all the people for being sub-porters. Shout out to those of you on Patreon. Shout out to all the YouTube channel subscribers. Got to add some more. It's been a little while since I've posted some exclusive content. With all the challenges we've been having family-wise and booking the tour and the new Bop Alloy rollout. So I apologize for the lack of updates, but a lot of stuff is coming. So I got y'all. And shout out to those of you who are subscribers on Bandcamp. If you want to join the channel and stuff, you could do so here. You get access to like videos that are only available to members. So please consider becoming a channel member. And if you're in a position to donate a membership, you're more than welcome to do that. That's a great way to allow others to get the experience which you're blessed enough to experience, while also helping me keep things running over here. You know what I mean? In terms of the long list of duties I have in terms of maintaining this, making sure the cameras are good, making sure the mic's good, and all of my other systems behind the scenes are running well. So thank you to those of you who are already channel members. We will talk about the Kickstarter in a second too. Second I get money, I'm going. Not gonna lie, that's what's up, man. Talking about Japan still. I'm ready for the new album. Got my on Kickstarter. Word, got you. Yeah, dad duty, laugh out loud, shake my head. Hey, bro, I know the struggle, man. I know the struggle. Hang in there, bro. And kiss the baby for me, or hug the baby, high five the baby, whatever you choose. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. And then you can also join Patreon. Patreon is the place where there's probably the most exclusive content. And also, if you become a Patreon member by going to patreon.com/substantial, when you become a regular member and stay at a certain level for a certain period of time, there are automated benefits that kick in too, from hoodies to bags to things of that nature. A lot of cool stuff. But yeah, just go visit, check it out, all that good stuff. Let's keep it pushing. Yeah, so quick Bop Alloy update. Next week is when the new albums drop and pre-orders are already up. I'm mainly speaking to those of you who did not support the Kickstarter, okay? Or let's word that different. People who wanted to support the Kickstarter, but either missed the campaign or weren't in a position financially to support. We completely understand, life be lifing. But if you still want to pre-order the new album and support the new album or pick up any additional merchandise, etc., you can do so now at bopalloy.com or bopalloy.bandcamp.com. You can go over there, get your pre-orders, make that happen. So, we appreciate the support, and we're eternally grateful for having some of the best fans in the world. So thank y'all, man. Right now, the Kickstarter survey is currently at 92%, which means we have 17 people who backed the campaign who have not completed their surveys. So please consider doing that sooner than later, because, quick update, some of the merchandise has already been ordered, such as we're waiting on the sample hat. So we can make sure we approve final manufacturing of the hat, the snapbacks and stuff. So that'll be coming soon, as well as the enamel pin. All the stickers have been ordered. Shout out to all of y'all who supported, who allowed us to be able to afford to get all of the extra stuff done, as well as the vinyl, which also, by the way, the vinyl has been ordered too. So a lot of things have been ordered. The shirts are already done, and we have those in hand. We're waiting for the surveys to be completed because we still need sizes for a lot of y'all. And so in the next week, we're about to start the shout outs via social media, which will also allow us to promote the fact that the new album is about to drop, and all that good stuff. And some of y'all are already streaming some of the songs from the release. 3 songs from the album are already out right now, streaming on all DSPs, including Bandcamp. So go ahead and check out There's More. Check out One Prize. And you can also check out the new song, Last Song I'll Ever Write, featuring Uyama Hiroto. By the way, There's More features Stephanie Gale. Is Steph, y'all, the one and only. So check that out. But once again, if you have not completed the Kickstarter survey, please do that as soon as possible. You know what I mean? Take the survey. As Joshua McGee always tells me, I need to turn that into an official song. Even on Bandcamp, you played one of the tracks back in Japan 2024 that's on this album. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think we played One Prize at that show that you were at. All right, so let's talk about this upcoming Euro tour, this EU tour. With Bop Alloy, me and Marcus D. So the big announcement today is that unfortunately one of the shows has been canceled. The show in Lisbon, Portugal has been canceled due to low ticket sales. We understand that, like in a lot of places in the world, people wait to the last minute to buy tickets. And while that's usually acceptable in certain instances, that's a big financial risk for all parties involved. And so sometimes when those situations happen or whatever, folks got to make decisions that suck, you know what I mean? And so unfortunately, due to low ticket sales, the show in Lisbon was canceled. But the good news is that the other shows are still happening. We will be performing in Madrid on March 22nd. We got a few days off, because we're checking out this awesome vinyl factory that manufactures the Bop Alloy records, as well as a lot of Marcus D stuff, and getting up with a few friends in another country before we head over to France and do our thing in Rennes, followed by Paris. So make sure you get your tickets. There's a link to Songkick in the description of this video where you can see all of my upcoming shows, including my shows in other places like Atlanta, and my next show in Washington, D.C. on April 17th with my band, The Sons Hughes. So yeah, man, lots of good stuff coming up. Can't have a feature without Steph, man. You already know. If you know, you know. Shout out to Stephanie Gale. So again, man, make sure you pick up your tickets for the show in Madrid. It's going to be dope. It's going to be really, really dope. Shout out to Monochromo for making it happen. Vinyl on Bandcamp for me has $15 taxes, wow, and $38 shipping for Austria, so $90 total. I know it's not y'all fault. It's just kind of crazy. So no, that's a real issue, right? And so part of what we're looking to do, some of the promoters that we've been talking to in Europe have been talking about, purchasing some of our merchandise from us so they could be official retailers, so that they could, let me say this different, so that they can officially make some of our merch available for sale in Europe. So after the tour is done, there is a chance that you will see some European retailers with our stuff available for purchase. It's just, it's a lot for us, man. This stuff is getting more and more expensive by the day, with all the issues going on with our government, as a lot of y'all, I'm sure, have been following closely, as have we. But yo, it's crazy. It's crazy. A lot of this stuff is getting priced out of control, and things are getting worse. This war isn't making things better, and things were already on the decline before the war started. So yeah, man. Throughout your career, what is your favorite country to tour in? Japan is one of them. I love going to London too. Let me think. France has always been dope too. Trying to think. What's another one that was crazy? Taiwan was legendary. Taiwan was a crazy night. Marcus can confirm. That was a really dope experience. Yeah. Oh, Yazek says, I understand. It was like $140 for me. I couldn't get it. Yeah, man. I'm so sorry. You know? Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. This stuff costs like, yo, listen, we get it. We get it. Like for us to order like a couple hundred copies is like $7,000, right? Like that's just to get it manufactured before we even purchase supplies, right? And the purchase, like depending on what type of if we want to get, if we want to get like good quality vinyl boxes, the premium boxes that are the safest for shipping vinyl, especially when you're shipping overseas, they are significantly more expensive, right? Like when I was doing it at first, I'd get these cheaper boxes, and those boxes were like I could get 50 of those boxes and not even spend $100, right? But this other company I started using so I could get higher quality boxes, man, to get like 50 to 100 boxes is damn near $300, right? So, and again, that's before paying for insurance to insure the package and shipping, you know what I mean? And depending on where you are in the world, like it costs somewhere from like whatever the price of the record is, like damn near it's got to times that by 2. And so a lot of times, when we price it incorrectly, like we end up eating that cost, and we're already in some instances, like when we don't do a pre-order or a Kickstarter campaign, we're already in a hole. So, just trying to be transparent with y'all for the real costs that come with doing this stuff. And also when you see like the level of artistry that goes in, no pun intended, level of artistry that goes into the design of the record, like months of work was already done on that. And like, we're digging a hole for ourselves financially, like, working with the artist who's on a different level than some of the people we could bring in, just to give y'all a premium product. So yo, we get it. We get it. Just know that whatever y'all are paying, yo, just understand that we've already eaten that cost sometimes 100 times over, and sometimes more than that. You know what I'm saying? So yo, we get it. We get it. Like we're working on this album for like 2 years, like me flying back and forth to, like in Japan, flying back and forth to Japan to record it. Getting the different artists that we know who are here to feature on it. Some getting paid up front, others doing it on the strength, but like having to split fractions of a penny in streaming sales with us later, or streams with us later. Like there's a lot of costs that go into working on these records. You know what I mean? So yo, we get it. We get it. And we're sorry that it's like this and stuff, but some of this is out of our control, Taiwan and Japan are on my list, on the top of my list, performance destinations for me. Orion Song, ladies and gentlemen, clap it up. You know what I mean? The homie up in here. Good to see you, bro. Like at a show, I mean. What's a country that showed up for you way more than you may have expected? Taiwan. Taiwan was crazy because that show sold out within 48 hours. I think just over 24 hours that show sold out. And we had just did a tour in Japan. That it was a great concept, but the promoters that we worked with didn't necessarily have a lot of experience as promoters. And so unfortunately, that for me was like my worst attended set of shows I had ever done in Japan at that point. And so that was crazy. Like that was crazy, kind of doing these shows where like there was no more than like 20 people per show, in a place where prior to that I hadn't done a show smaller than 200 people. So that was my experience in Japan for the first time ever. And then Marcus was with me, as well as Mega Ran and K Murdoch. This was when we did the More Bark Less Biting. So it was a Bop Alloy / Mega Ran and K Murdoch tour. And so we did a bunch of shows where there was next to nobody, but wasn't a lot of people there. One of the shows literally had like 10 people. And that was only because half the audience came with us. So then we go to Taiwan, and Taiwan had, if you combine all the people from the shows that we did in Japan and times it by more than 10, that's how many people was at that Taiwan show. So after doing 3 shows in a row where there weren't a lot of people there, and then going into Taiwan and seeing like, one, seeing the show listed as sold out. 2, seeing, the hotel have promotional posters in the elevator and flyers like at the front counter, and going to breakfast the next morning after you flew in town and hearing your music playing over the loudspeaker in the hotel. Like, Taipei was hard to top, fam. Taipei, Taiwan was hard to top. You know what I mean? So yeah, China was really dope too. China, every time I performed in China has been really, really great. You know what I mean? The fans are awesome. And, the shows, yeah, man, the shows are always put together, or mostly put together really well. You know what I mean? So, in the 5 times I performed in China. So yeah, man. Let's get back to these shows though. Remember, March 27th, you can catch us at the Doing It Festival. We'll be performing with Cormega, formerly of The Firm, and then the legend Marley Marl, as well as the legends Cali Agents, Roscoe, and Planet Asia, one of my favorites. So yeah, man, catch us there March 27th. That's in Rennes, France. And then you can catch us March 29th in Paris. Catch us there, man, performing at La Belle Voix, Villa. I definitely am butchering that joint, but because you can read. So catch me there with the homie Marcus D, touring through Europe. Get your tickets now. If you're in a position to get it sooner than later, you should. But yeah, man, it's going to be dope. It's going to be really, really dope. Just another reminder, if you have not copped your tickets for the Think Different Tribute Jam on on April 17th now, the new date is April 17th. It's going to be in Washington, D.C. at a place called Kabu. Definitely cop your tickets now, man. It's going to be an awesome night, different venue, but it's going to be the same vibe. So come through. It's going to be a great time. The new venue, unfortunately, is 21 and over. I am going to I'm going to reach out to the venue to see if there can be exceptions made. But, because they serve alcohol, a lot of times due to liquor license, they have to keep it 21 and over. All right. So I will let y'all know, though, but definitely cop your tickets for that. You can do that at thinkdifferent.com. Matter of fact, let's do this while I'm thinking about it. Put this up here real fast. If you haven't copped your tickets already, you can do so by scanning that QR code on the screen. Or by going to thinkdifferent.com, thinkdifferenttributejam.com, thinkdifferenttributejam.com to pick up your tickets right now for that. Let's see. Yo, back to you, fam. I appreciate you. Thanks for the love. And once again, man, if any of y'all are in a position to contribute to the channel, you can do so now by looking at the ticker below, or donating via the super chat. All right. Let's see. And then I will be at MomoCon on May 21st through the 24th, performing with the homie Alan Z, Aztec, Megaran, Stolen Drums. Of course, I'll be there, as well as Zed Tabani. And I will be there all weekend, so I'll be vending throughout the weekend. Definitely come through. It's going to be a great time. All right. Let's see. Let's take that off for a sec, because before we jump into this, what I'm going to do, we're going to take a very quick break because I got to grab some headphones. So rather than have y'all sitting here and it just being awkward, I'm going to hit y'all with some music. We're going to see if we can find a short one for y'all to vibe to while I grab this. See which one of these joints is the shortest. Yeah, man. All right. So we're going to take you to this joint real quick. I'm going to play this quick song. This is a joint of mine that's been out for a while, called Dedicated and Driven. Shout out to those of you who already know the song. For those of you who may not be as familiar with it, I hope you enjoy it. It's a song called Dedicated and Driven. The acronym is DAD. It's a song about fatherhood. You know what I mean? And this animatic video that you're going to see is actually created by my wife when she was working on her this certificate she got from the NYU Tisch School, taking this film program. This was one of her projects, and so it's a really cool animatic video done by Rochelle Etienne Robinson, aka my baby mama, the best. So yeah, man, check it out. Hope you enjoy it, and let's go ahead and let it ride. All right, and I'm gonna grab these headphones, and after we come back, we're gonna listen to the new Bob Alloy joint, and then I'm gonna do a lyric breakdown for y'all. All right, enjoy. For the brotherhood of fatherhood, R.I.P. to Eric Pyle. Rest well, yeah.
One time for the fathers on the front line. Yeah. 2 times for the fathers on the weekends. Yeah. 3 times for the ones that get the least shine. Yeah. The single fathers, y'all don't hear me bring the beat in.
Dedicated and driven, I'm not just making a living. They say life is what you make it, so check it. We make some children, they giving me life and purpose. I'm giving them love and options. Live as free as can be, and when needed, please move with caution. Here to destroy your doubts if I always be there when needed. I was there for your first breath, and I'm here when my last is leaving. Your dad is always devoted to moving the family forward. Willing to play the back, y'all could lead us at any moment. Word to my girls, it's y'all world. How will you shape it when they square up? Best step up, make it, don't break it. This for y'all and all the daddies that didn't have one at home. Swore they be better at it, once blessed with kids of their own. Plus you DWB, that mean daddy and why black. A struggle to raise them free when the target is on your back. It's hard to raise them as peaceful when systems over police you. People speak to your children but treat you like they don't see you. Hold up.
One time for the fathers on the front line. 2 times for the fathers on the weekends. 3 times for the ones that get the least shine. The single fathers, y'all don't hear me bring the beat in.
Hard to keep peace of mind when there's evil trying to disturb it. Die protecting your babies but treat it like you deserved it. Black fathers under attack, plus underappreciated, underserved, underrepresented, and we're underrated. Under a rock in a hard place, holding it up with God's grace shining, cause there's a bright mind beyond that dark face. All the ties and world's greatest dad mugs were given. Big piece of chicken or vegan burger with all the fixings. Still dedicated and driven, no matter how they reward us. Ain't about what they give us, we're serving our sons and daughters. Those that don't handle business, them bammers ain't about nothing. I don't speak on no deadbeats unless it's killer production. Dedicated and driven, your daddy is a provider. Got your back to the ending, cause your daddy's a rider. Dedicated and driven by love and responsibility. This is for all the bobbers that serve with honor and dignity.
One time for the fathers on the front line. 2 times for the fathers on the weekends. 3 times for the ones that get the least shine. The single fathers, y'all don't hear me bring the beat in. One time for the fathers on the front line. 2 times for the fathers on the weekends. 3 times for the ones that get the least shine. The single fathers, y'all don't hear me bring the beat in.
Dedicated and driven, make lemonades out of lemon. Make miracles with pennies, cause most of us ain't seen a million. Salute to all our women, we celebrating you too. Wouldn't be the father I am if it weren't for you.
Yeah. I appreciate y'all, man. I hope y'all enjoyed that joint. Shout out to those of y'all already familiar with the track. That song's called Dedicated and Driven. That is from the, a soundtrack to fatherhood. That's what that compilation was called. A soundtrack to fatherhood was an album or compilation album that I put out, which literally included every song I had ever made about like where I either reference being a parent, raising my kids, or talked about like or was thinking about being a parent. So it has all these songs on one project, and it was accompanied by a children's book that I put out called She Sees. She Sees is based on a song of mine called In My Daughter's Eyes, which is a sequel to another song called In My Daughter's Eyes, which just has the apostrophe moved from one place to the very end. And yeah, man, definitely worth checking out. I'm mainly speaking to the people who don't already know that this existed, because I am well aware that while a lot of y'all know my music, a lot of y'all don't know really how much music I have out there. You know what I mean? Your boy been busy. I've been busy. Okay, so definitely check it out, man. Hey, Joshua, what up, bro? I appreciate you, man. Thanks for showing up. I know we a little late today, cutting into some of y'all other time, and I appreciate y'all for still showing up for it, brother. So thank you. But yeah, man, we just finished talking about a oldie but goodie. Thank y'all for checking that out. And now that I got these headphones, man, we can move into some of this new music. I'm just making sure that we ain't got no other surprises when I go to play this joint. But this is a new song from me and Marcus D, together known as Bop Alloy. This song is called Last Song I'll Ever Write. So what we're going to do today, because we're going to do a lyric breakdown too. So first, I'm going to play the single, let y'all hear it. This is from the upcoming album, Masters of the Artistry. This is actually how the album closes, right? So, and it features the incomparable, the amazing Uyama Hiroto, playing sax. It's crazy. So let's go ahead and check out the song right now. And yeah, man, let me know what y'all think in the comments and stuff. And be sure to add it to your playlist. Save the song on the different platforms you're on. Play the hell out of it. Play it until you're tired of it. And if you never get tired of it, never stop playing it. But yeah, man, most importantly, enjoy it. Share it with other people, man. Because good music should not be... good music should be shared. It shouldn't be just kept to yourself. You know what I mean? All right. So let's get into it. Let me make sure my levels are good. So we're going to get a quick sound check. Y'all are going to give me a thumbs up in the comments, in the chat, to let me know if it sound good or not. And then after I give you a few seconds and y'all confirm, we'll run the whole joint. All right, here we go. All right. Let me know if that sounds good. And if so, we'll go ahead and run the whole joint. Let's see. Boom, bat, boom, 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 boom. Josh says, super late, glad to be here though. Me and the fam been praying for you, man. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you, man. Thank you. We doing our best. Definitely hasn't been getting easier, you know what I mean? But we hanging in there. It's Kamo, thank you. It is Kamo, thank you. And if it's chemo, I'm sorry. But thank you regardless. Melancholy Hopeful has got me through some tough times. Thank you so much for your art, man. I appreciate it. Shout out to Marcus D as well. And thank y'all for confirming that everything sounds good. I will go ahead and run the joint. All right. So once again, we're checking out the new song from Bop Alloy called Last Song I'll Ever Write, featuring Uyama Hiroto. After we do this, we're going to jump into a lyric breakdown. Okay, here we go. Shout out to Ariel.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make this world a little better for us. Add value when I'm present till they can't afford us. Made something out of nothing and I never quit. Give somebody baby chances I ain't getting. Say I love you dearly and be kind to you and the others, but sometimes we need reminded too. Always lead with love and follow our heart, and know that where we end is rarely the place that we start. So if it's the last song I ever write, I pray that my words have been a guiding light. And if it's the last breath I ever take, I pray that my life inspires something great. And if it's the last time I look in your eyes, I pray you know I love you after our goodbyes. And if it's the last song we ever do, at least we try to make something beautiful. We here now and I'm proud of how the journey going. See me growing, please know that you've been a key component of significant moments that help me boost my focus, to use my time to lift up others when they're at their lowest. Sometimes I fell short trying to be what I needed, projecting my anxieties, their message when unheeded. Trying to learn these lessons so there's no need to repeat it. So if you catch a gem I'm dropping, you're welcome to keep it. Pray I showed you that our skin color don't come with limits, and you can build a brand that stands without the use of gimmicks, and you can build a base of fans with more than your appearance, but with integrity, respect, love, and perseverance. Never been a perfect parent, but I'm always present, always working hard to ensure our best is what they inherit. Plenty good in both my girls, most important work I put in this world, watching the futures unfurl. But please know, if it's the last song I ever write, I pray that my words have been the guiding light. And if it's the last breath I ever take, I pray that my life inspires something great. And if it's the last time I look in your eyes, I pray you know I love you after our goodbyes. And if it's the last song we ever do, at least we tried to make something beautiful. Granted, leave no stone unturned. Tap into the God within so prayers don't go unheard. Do the work, never let your title go unearned, especially when you're in the jam, so your rep is well preserved. I pray we all emerge as someone we're proud of, smiling back at us in the mirror, feeling empowered. Silence the doubters till your inner champion is louder. Tend to your garden, give yourself your own flowers, and know that if it's the last song I ever write, I pray that my words have been a guiding light. And if it's the last breath I ever take, I pray that my life inspires something great. And if it's the last time I look in your eyes, I pray you know I love you after our goodbyes. And if it's the last song we ever do, at least we tried to make something beautiful. Amen.
Yeah, man. Yeah, buddy. Man, shout out to Marcus for making an amazing beat. Shout out to all of the different players on the track. Shout out to Gerson. I know there's a few other folks on there too. I don't have all the names in front of me right now, but shout out to all of them. Some of them are members of the group Apollo Bebop, so shout out to them. Also, super shout out to Uyama on sax. Yeah, man, it's a really powerful record. Skamo says lyrics are so good, so visceral. You got so much to say, and you say it so well. Thank you, family. Man, y'all always make magic together. Stan, Marcus, and Uyama all are all goats. Yeah, man, I appreciate that. Thank you, family. Thank you. Blown away. Wow. Nuja Best lives on. Rest in peace. Poetry, man. Thank you, family. Yeah, so let's go. Let's run it back. And this time I will break down the lyrics. We'll do like a stop and go thing where I'll let it play a little bit and then just kind of give you some context for the joint. Let me fix this screen real quick. Hold on. Because I know I got different setups. So let's boom. And then we gonna do this. Pap, pap, bump, 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 bump. So yeah, man. So right now we're gonna do last song I'll ever write. We're gonna do a lyric breakdown for it, but we gotta do a couple quick things to get us started. Hold on, we gotta set it up just right. It's only right. Let's do this first. Hold on. And if you haven't done so already, don't forget to like and subscribe. Please and thank you. And where is it? Hold on. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time for
Anatomy of a Verse.
Yeah, so Anatomy of a Verse is a series of breakdowns that I've done in the past where I take time to break down the lyrics to certain songs I've written, many of the collaborations I've done over the years. And right now, we are excited. When I say we, I'm talking about me and Marcus D. We're excited for y'all to hear this new album from us called Masters of the Artistry, which is our third studio album. And yeah, man, shout out to those of you who funded the Kickstarter. And we're super excited to break down this new song called Last Song I'll Ever Write, which is the last song on the album. So right now, go ahead, strap in. Let's get ready for this lyric breakdown. And let me make sure I got what I need in the background so I don't miss anything. I thought I had something open already and I didn't. Failing you. So, all right, here we go. So yeah, man, again, this track is produced by Marcus D and has many people in the background playing many instruments. And so, man, shout out to all of them. But let's go ahead and start the track from the beginning.
I'm just trying to make this world a little better for us. Add value when I'm present till they can't afford us. Made something out of nothing and I never quit. Give somebody baby chances I ain't getting.
All right, so let's stop it right there. First, shout out to everyone in the comments watching right now. Super duper shout out and huge hug to my sister who's watching right now. Shout out to Stacy. Love you so much. Man, shout out to the homie. Big shout out to Blaze Davis, man. I was just talking about you with the homie Warren when I was out in San Fran, man. Sad we didn't get to connect. God willing, won't be my last time out there. But let's get into these lyrics. So right now we just heard the first few bars of the song. The first verse is a very a very short verse. It's only 8 bars. So the first half says, I'm just trying to make the world a little better for us. Add value when I'm present till they can't afford us. In other words, like oftentimes when we think about something that we can't afford, we deem that thing as priceless, right? So one of the things I teach in these music business classes that I've been teaching for like the last decade out in Rockville and around the country whenever I've done it, one of the biggest lessons I try to give my students, I'm like, yo, it's important that you learn how you add value when you walk in spaces, right? In other words, know your worth. So that way, whenever you walk into a room, you know that you are adding value to that space. In other words, there are some people that just their presence at that venue at the time they're there literally can inspire other people to pay more attention to what's happening. Or if someone announces that they're going to be there, can literally make other people want to be there. But more importantly, when you're there, if you're a person that's speaking, if you're a person that is contributing artistically, if you're a person that is helping to orchestrate stuff that is happening in the background, whatever it is you do, make sure you add value, right? If you really are concerned about how you can better serve your community, better serve people you care about, or just you're a person who wants to have like major impact on whatever it is you touch, you need to figure out what is it you do that adds value. Sometimes for some people, it's just being there to support, right? And that adds value to someone else's lives, other people's lives. It adds value to whatever it is, right? And in other ways, it's like in other moments, it's something very specific that you could be doing. But just make sure that you figure out how you add value to the world, how you add value to other people's lives and stuff like that. And by doing that, you make your presence, you make who you are as a person like priceless. You're already loved, right? Like you already have value, right? Just make sure that whenever you walk into these spaces, you're clear on what it is that makes you add value. That it gives you a certain confidence. It gives you, oh man, it's like, it's hard to kind of just, I feel like words cheapen it, but I'm trying my best to kind of clarify. I feel like a lot of y'all understand what I'm saying, and maybe I'm over explaining it, but that's what that line is really about adding value when I'm present till they can't afford us. In other words, we're priceless. And when I say made something out of nothing and I never quit, that is, like people all the time talk about coming from the bottom, coming from like, having next to nothing, and making something out of themselves, right? And that's also something that is connected to hip hop culture as well. Oftentimes, the people, not oftentimes, but the people who are pioneers in this culture, they came from nothing, fam. They came from poverty, extreme poverty, right? The Bronx was one of the toughest places or worst places to live in New York at the time that hip hop culture was birthed, right? And people were able to make something that ultimately inspired the world, right? With the little they had, because they had heart for days. They figured out how they added value, and they added value to their community. They added value to the world, right? And now that story is being told as I'm telling it right now. Someone else is somewhere in the world telling the same story about what they did in the Bronx with these poor kids who were financially poor, but they were wealthy in so many other ways, in talent, inspiration, in drive, dedication, all of these different things. They found what they love. They created it out of next to nothing, pulled inspiration from different things. There's a quote about hip hop where it says hip hop didn't create anything, but it changed everything. I love that line. And so when I say made something out of nothing and I never quit, that's what I'm referring to. Like what hip hop is to me, and how I like share my gift, via hip hop culture with the world. Next line says, give somebody baby chances I ain't get. It's part of the reason why I've been doing youth work for most of my professional career, is basically taking the knowledge that I've learned through my craft, through my different gifts and talents and stuff like that, and the opportunities I've gotten, and then passing that on to the next generation. Each one teach one. The lyrics that y'all know, that one, that's a thing that people say in general, but also y'all most notably know me for saying it on Blessing It. So give somebody baby chances I ain't get. That's what that's all about. All right, let's get back to it. Boom, boom. Oh man, am I frozen this whole time? Hey man, let me know if I've been frozen and y'all didn't hear anything I said. Because I look at the screen and okay, it looks like y'all are getting it, but for a second there, it looked bad. Anyway, back to the lyrics.
Say God love you daily and be kind to you and the others, but sometimes we need reminding too. Always lead with love and follow our heart, and know that where we end is rarely the place that we start.
Man, okay. So the next four bars of the verse, say I love you daily and be kind to you. Nothing super deep. That's right there on the surface. I think so many adults that I know grew up with parents that they knew that their parent loved them, but they almost never heard them say it. They rarely ever heard them say it. And I know people who say it a lot. And oftentimes for some people, it cheapens it for them, right? Because for some people, it's not about what you say, it's about what you do, right? But there's something to the people who are consistently showing the people in their lives that they love, showing them love in a real tangible way, while also saying it, like reminding them every day. Because you never know, man. I'm trying to keep it together. You never know when you say that or when you don't say it. You don't know when's the last time you're gonna get to say it. That's not something we can predict. And you don't want to be, you don't want it to be a question, a lingering question. Like, did this person know? You know what I mean? So shout out to those of you who say it, but also show it all the time to the people who you care about, because it's something easier said than done. And it's like, yo, you'd be surprised how many grown folk I know, how many adults I know who went through most of their life, not hearing that from the person who raised them, who they love more than anybody outside of their children, and so, yeah, man, be kind to you and the others, but sometimes we need reminding too. Like that part, when I say, again, a lot of these things feel very straightforward, but I just want you to know where they come from. So, and be kind to you and to others, right? So when I say be kind to you, like, I think that when I go to that next part and say, because sometimes we need reminding too, because oftentimes I think people just, man, like we don't put as much effort as we could into just being nice to folk, because there's this, like, some people are so obsessed with being cool that, like, being a nice person, saying things like I love you, being polite, apologizing, makes you, like, for some people, it makes you corny, it makes you look weak, it makes you all these other things. And my pushback is all of this stuff that, like, that we've been made to believe is corny or weak. You basically, like, standing 10 toes down and being like, yo, fuck what you talking about, bro. Fuck what y'all saying. Like, this how I feel. And I'm not about to not express this, not say this, or not be good to these people, or not be, I'm not care. I can't care how this looks to certain folks. This is how I feel. And I'm not going to be, like, put in this box or feel caged up. Like, I can't express myself certain ways because it might seem soft to you. You know what I mean? And it's always weird, man, because so many times where I've heard this from dudes, because these aren't based on hypotheticals. These are real experiences. I've oftentimes heard these criticisms from dudes who I ain't never seen fight a day in their life, right? Or never been in a situation where they really had to prove how physically tough or whatever. Like, yo, it's like, come on, fam. Like, you over here making this criticism of me for speaking like this, but, like, fam, you know where I came up and what I had to live through, and the fact that I survived through all of that, and I'm doing this freely. I'm looking another man in his face, and, like, who I consider my brother, and saying, yo, I love you, bro. If you need anything, I got you. And I ain't worried about someone thinking that is soft or gay or whatever. Like, this is how I feel. And I don't care who present to hear me say it. Like, I say it to the show, like at the shows too, when you come out see me live. Like, yo, at the end of the show, I let the audience know, it's like, yo, I love you. And that doesn't mean it's the same exact love as what I have for my daughter, what I have for my wife, what I have for my sisters, right? Or my mom, et cetera, et cetera. It's not the same love, but I love you because, yo, there are so many things in the world you could be doing right now. You could be doing right now, but you chose to spend your time and money with me, right? Experiencing something that, like, is positive, that's uplifting, that is, like, yo, like, we created a safe space for people like us, right? Who are daring to be different in a time where, like, the world's trying to make you bend and, like, become something you're not. Like, yo, you need to know that you are loved and appreciated for doing that. And I'm not scared to say it. You know what I mean? So that's what that's about. But let's keep it going. And then it say, always lead with love and follow your heart, follow our heart, and know that where we end is rarely the place that we start. So in other words, man, like, so many people, like, what they're born into, situations they're born into, tough times they experience, and this, that, and the third, oftentimes mold so many people into, like, these really hard, rigid people that are oftentimes angry and just constantly fighting within themselves and fighting battles externally. And and it's important for us to remember as people, it's like where this person currently is, even if this is where they started, that doesn't mean this is where their life will end. If given the resources and opportunity to be more than who they currently are, right? And see that there's more out here for them. Because oftentimes they're reflecting what their experiences has been, what the community around them, what the prisons the prisons of their mind, the literal prisons of the world and stuff like that, what it has molded them into. They are reflections of the company they keep or what they've been exposed to. That is not an excuse. It's just the truth. You know what I mean? You know what's wild? I see people try to make more excuses for people with racist behavior and try to find ways to let that shit slide outside of as opposed to minorities or people who are different from a different side of the world, different political space and stuff like that. Like somehow those excuses, they can't think of any good reason why this person would think that way, or excuse why, not even excuse, but just acknowledge why, maybe they think this way because of that. But you're gonna sit up here and try to explain to me why your uncle, your father, your grandfather, whoever has racist behavior. It's like, are you really trying to explain that but can't understand why this person doesn't agree with you on this different thing? This is where we are. This is where we are as a world, fam. What is going on? Yeah, man. So anyway, let's keep the lyrics going. For those of you who've never experienced one of these breakdowns, they are long. We just got through the first verse. Let's get to the chorus.
If it's the last song I ever write, I pray that my words have been a guide and light. And if it's the last breath I ever take, I pray that my life inspires something great. And if it's the last time I look in your eyes, I pray you know I love you after our goodbyes. And if it's the last song we ever do, at least we try to make something beautiful.
Man, the chorus is pretty self-explanatory, but it's, the first two bars are talking about just acknowledging the fact that as I'm writing the song, I'm realizing that anything can happen. You know what I mean? As I'm writing this and when I finally record it, this could be it. Every time I make a song, this could potentially be the last thing I do. And I think part of the reason why some of you, those of you who choose to continue listening to me and my music and the music I've made with so many of my friends, shout out to Marcus D. I pray that you can hear the growth. And part of what you're hearing is the fact that I understand at this point in my life, every one of these songs I write could potentially be it. This could be it. So it's just man, I'm not taking any bars off, fam. I'm not phoning it in. I'm doing my best every time I choose to make something because I know this could be it. And I don't want this to be, if this is the last thing you hear from me, you know what I mean? Then I pray my words have been a guiding light. I pray that it's had some impact on you, Next part of the hook says, if it's the last breath I ever take, I pray that my life inspired something great. And shout out to those of you who've shared your stories with me. I wish I could remember this dude's name, but I'll never forget doing a show in San Diego for the first time. And a dude coming up to me and says that yo, man, I just finished medical school and I'm gonna be a doctor soon. And I need you to know that yo, your music helped me get through that. All those years in medical school and stuff like that. I'm grateful I had your music because it helped me get through. And so when I'm out here, in the world doing what I do and potentially saving lives, just know that how I got to that point, you were a part of that journey. And that right there was just yo, no, I don't think anybody at that point in time had ever said anything to me like that. But it just made it, man, one, words of affirmation is my love language. So hearing that was just oh my God, I'm on cloud nine, fam. And but it made me realize it's just yo, man, this I'm not just rapping out here. I'm not just making songs for the sake of making songs, but like, yo, we're doing great work. You know what I mean? Some would say like we're doing God's work. We're doing, we're doing what we can to make the world a little better, like through this music, And so the next lines, if it's the last time I look in your eyes, I pray I know you love you. I pray you know I love you after our goodbyes. In that line, when I wrote it, initially I was thinking about my wife, and of course I'm thinking about my children and all my family and stuff, and my friends, aka the family we choose. Like regardless that if I said it to them or not, I pray that they know when I looked at them and said it, that they knew I meant it with every like molecule in my body. You know what I mean? And then the last part of that hook says, if it's the last song we ever do, at least we tried to make something beautiful. That's like to my brother Marcus, you know what I mean? Last song of our album and stuff, like, like basically if this is it, but then like, man, like this hopefully will go down as one of the most beautiful records we ever made. Which to me is saying a lot, because I think we've made some amazing records, man. And this one is definitely another notch in the belt, man. If not one of the greatest, So let's get into verse 2, and then I'm not gonna break down the hook for the rest of the joint, but let's keep it going. Hey, real quick, shout out to Happy Mochi for gifting some memberships to the whole squad, man. To those of you who aren't members, thank you, sis. Appreciate and love you. Thank you. Thank y'all for the kind words, man. I'm gonna get back to those in a second, but let's get back to the verse.
We here now and I'm proud of how the journey going. See me growing, please know that you've been a key component of significant moments to help me boost my focus, to use my time to lift up others when they're at their lowest.
All right. So second verse, the first 4 bars where it's like, we here now, I'm proud of how the journey's going. When I look back at like our legacy as a group, me and Marcus and stuff, man, and like we've made over 100 songs together at this point. And it's just like, man, I look back and I'm really proud. When Marcus and I first linked, I think he first reached out to me when he was 16 years old and I was 27. You know what I mean? And so now like I'm 47 and he's 36, and that is just crazy to me, man. Like we are going on, was it my math right? Hold on. Yeah, I think he's 36 now. I don't think Marcus is still watching. Hopefully he's getting some sleep. But yeah, man, we are, 20 years in, or almost 20 years in. I think next year we'll actually make 20 years. We've been working together. And to realize that, bro, like to think about that it's insane, man. Like that we've been able to do what we've been doing for this long, and at the level we've been doing it. So super proud of the journey. Next line says, see me growing, please know that you've been a key component of significant moments that help to boost my focus, to use my time to lift up others when they're at their lowest. Again, man, like just one, acknowledging his role in my growth, both as a man and as an artist, and as his adopted big brother, you know what I mean? I like to think that Marcus just has vitiligo. But anyway, acknowledging that like any growth he sees in me, and the same thing for y'all, like any growth that y'all see in me is a reflection of the company I've kept. And that includes like present company, you know what I mean? For some of you who I know offline, and had the chance to build with, shout out to Happy Mochi. Like we've had, a couple of encounters in person and been able to spend time like on a few calls and stuff like that. Broke bread, spent time with her and her man and stuff. She spent time with me and my family. Like, like all of these things have helped me grow in some way, shape, or form. And I pray I have that same impact on her and everybody else, right? Like, and so, and how it's helped me refocus in certain moments and use what I have to lift up others whenever I can. And sometimes it's hard, man. Like it's hard to lift as you climb, one. And sometimes when you're at your lowest moments, it's really hard to be, to constantly, be light for others when you're in your darkest moments. And shout out to y'all who know what that who understand what that means and what that feels like, because it's difficult, man. But you know, we do it because that's who we are a lot of times, or who we grew to be. But yeah, man, you know. So anyway, let's get into the next few bars.
Sometimes I fell short trying to be what I needed. Projecting my anxieties, their message went unheeded. Trying to learn these lessons so there's no need to repeat it. So if you catch a gem I'm dropping, you're welcome to keep it.
Yeah, man. So those next few lines, sometimes I fell short trying to be what I needed. You know, like oftentimes they say, be the change you want to see in the world, right? And obviously that's easier said than done. There's times where I think all of us, we try our best to do that. But like, you know, whether our energy's low, our spirit's low, whatever it is, like we oftentimes find ourselves in positions where like we're trying our best to be that. But like when we went into that, we didn't understand how much work was required of us and how much sacrifice oftentimes is required to be that. And so, we have our moments where we fall short. And then in those moments where we fall short, like the different anxieties that we had going in and that we still are struggling with in those moments, we often project it on other people. You know what I mean? All of us are guilty of that. All of us. I refuse to believe that any of us are exceptions to the rule. Like we all experience that in some way, shape, or form. We're all human beings, right? You know, and so in those moments, like messages that you should have been like really processing and taking from the different people who cared about you, folks who were trying to help you out, and even messages that you were pushing out to the world, like, right? Like you're missing it, right? Like you can't even process it in that moment. You don't even understand that, like, yo, you've been telling this to other people forever, and somehow you can't even like kind of take the steps you need to take to get to where you need to be in these moments. So it's like, so in those moments, oftentimes when we fall short, like we were trying to learn lessons that, like, you know, to keep us from kind of like the same failures that so many before us have made or suffered, like in front of us. Like you've seen how this story ends. You've seen how this turns out. And here you are repeating the same behavior. So like, you know, it's really one of those things. I'm just constantly working on myself to try not to make those mistakes so much. It's impossible to never make them most times for people in some way, shape, or form. None of us are perfect, so we're all going to fall short. But being conscious of, like, in these moments where there's certain mistakes we don't need to make. We just kind of gave up on ourselves in some moments. And so acknowledging that and trying to make sure I speak on that whenever possible. So if you catch a gem I'm dropping, you're welcome to keep it. Let's keep it going.
I showed you that our skin color don't come with limits. And you can build a brand that stands without the use of gimmicks. And you can build a base of fans with more than your appearance, but with integrity, respect, love, and perseverance.
Yeah, man. So it's like, pray I showed you that our skin color don't come with limits. Obviously, I'm talking to my other melanated folk. You know what I mean? You know, like this world sometimes will have you thinking that, like, because you look a particular way, because you sound a way, because you're from a particular place, because you're black, because you're, you know, because in the part of the world that you're in, you're the minority, or how people viewed from where you're from, how people from where you're from are viewed globally, somehow you can't achieve certain things. So I try to, like, you know, be as active as I can, like in spaces where people can see what I do, people can hear me speak, more importantly, see how I live, and make sure I don't hide what my struggles have been, what my shortcomings have been. Obviously, it's not like I've shared everything. I don't think anyone has ever really shared every mistake that they've ever made in their life, but I try to share enough of it so people get a pretty good idea that, like, yo, I'm like you are in a lot of ways. Like, I've had the same struggles in some instances, depending on where you're from. like, yo, I might have gone through far more than you'll ever experience in your life. And in spite of all of those things, I've managed to make something of my life. I've managed to be there for the people I love. I've managed to give back in various ways and still try to do as much as I can. It doesn't mean that I couldn't do more. Doesn't mean that I'm without my own flaws and stuff like that. But like, I understand that more is caught than taught, and people are watching how we move through the world. And so I'm trying my best to be an inspiration for people who are like me from the places that I'm from. And what's really dope is with me putting that focus on that and living a particular way, for those who are open-minded, even when I'm making songs where I'm clearly speaking to like a particular group, there's still inspiration to be found and that can be taken from that. You know what I mean? If you're not from that. And I think that's what's been really dope, because there's been plenty of times where like I was making a song that was very specific and it still managed to inspire someone else. And it's wild when I hear people that say things like, yo, you know, I can't, like, that, even if they don't literally say it this way, but I've heard it articulated in different ways, that somehow, because culturally this thing isn't necessarily speaking about people who look like you, that you can't connect with it, or you can't, you don't feel it like that. And that's cool, right? Like, I can accept that. Like, not everything is for you, right? But I find it interesting that somehow that does not apply to love songs, right? Like, the person singing that song, they are not singing about, you know, they're singing about the person they love, who is not the person you love. Yet you somehow can take what they are talking about and apply it to your own life. And oftentimes that disconnect, right? Like, there is no disconnect about, well, you know, they're likely talking about somebody I don't know, so I can't fully appreciate what they're saying. Like, nah, you can take certain aspects of what's being said, certain points that they are making, and apply that to your own experience and connect, and maybe connect to their humanity and understand that, like, yo, oh, okay, yeah, I feel like that sometimes too. So even when I'm speaking to somebody who looks like me, it doesn't mean there isn't something there for you to learn, process, and potentially be inspired by, right? And like, to keep it a buck, people of color in this country, we've been doing this forever. We're masters at doing it, because oftentimes when we've been watching media and different things produced by white folks that are mostly being produced for other white folks, like, we've still managed over the years to be able to connect with the characters, see their humanity, be inspired by them, be fans of the creators of all this stuff, because like, largely the media here, like, all the art, or not all of it, but a lot of it has been centered around mostly one group for the longest, you know, for as long as this stuff existed. Because most of us people of color here, all of us people of color here, are minorities in this country. So the media that we've processed over the years, we've still managed to find a way to be inspired by it or connect with it, even when it wasn't about us. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah, man, something to think about. All right, keep it going. Make sure I didn't miss, did I miss a bar? Hold on. Got the joint, and you could build. Oh yeah. Our skin color don't come with limits, and you can build a brand that stands without the use of gimmicks. Right? I mean, I've done my best to create you know, music or whatever that didn't rely so heavily on certain cliches or certain gimmicks that we've seen other artists use, or even if it was like some new gimmick that we had never seen before. Just tried to rely heavily on authenticity and being my authentic self as much as possible in the music. So it was easier in some ways and harder in other ways to maintain. Easier in that I didn't have to put on a mask and pretend to be something I'm not, which some days, like, you know, for the people who do that, that's difficult to continue to do. And you oftentimes see artists pivot over time because they got tired of trying to hold that up. And so, you know, my goal has been, like, you know, to be my authentic self as much as possible, or at all times when I'm doing this. And the reason why I say as much as possible, because there are times where I'm writing songs from other people's perspective, or I'm writing songs for IP or something like that, for some game or something, where it's not written from my point of view. This is not written from the point of view of someone who would think like Stan. So I got to approach it from a different angle. But yeah, man. And you can build a base of fans with more than your appearance. And there's some artists where, like, man, their looks is the main thing they're selling, because a lot of times their content or their music really isn't about much. You know what I mean? It's surface level. So, you know, that ain't what, like, I've built my brand on. My brand has been built on integrity and authenticity, respect, love, and perseverance, right? All right, let's get into these last few bars, and then we'll skip to that last verse.
Never been a perfect parent, but I'm always present, always working hard to ensure our best is what they inherit. Plenty good in both my girls, most important work I put in this world, watching the futures unfurl, but please know.
Man, oh man. I will break these down, and then quick story time. It says, never been a perfect parent, but I'm always present, right? And obviously, when I say always, you know, it can feel like an exaggeration, right? But even, well, I remember, this is going back to what I was saying. None of us are perfect. We all have our flaws and stuff like that. So it's like me acknowledging that, like, I do recognize that by many, the people who know me and spend time with me and my kids and stuff like that, they think highly of the type of father I am, and I don't take that lightly. But I also know that I always thinking to myself, like, how I can be better, right? And I talk about, like, always being present. And what I mean by that doesn't mean that I'm always physically present. It's just recognizing that, like, like yesterday we had a business meeting and stuff, and while the business meeting is happening, my youngest daughter's in the background working on her Lego set that I just got her while I was in San Francisco. And while she's working on that, I see her getting frustrated. I see her literally tearing up while things she's working on are breaking and not working. So, like, I'm literally stepping off camera like every few minutes to go help her build this Lego set while having this business meeting, which literally down the road could equal tens of thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, this thing we're working on is a big deal, but it's never going to be more important than my kids. It's never going to be more important than my kids, even if it even if it helps to provide for them for years to come. At this time, and never, ever in history will it be more important than my children. So I can stop for a second. That's the beauty of having both of us too, because my wife is there too, so she can hold it down while I do the thing. And I know not everybody has the ability to do that, but I know who I am, and I know that if I wasn't there, my wife would be doing the same thing. But because I am there, I can do it, even when she so she could keep holding the meeting down. You know what I mean? But then also, like, when I'm abroad, right? I remember being abroad with one of the homies, and him was like, man, you talk to your wife a lot. He was like, man, you check in with your kids a lot. And I was just like, I don't know how to feel about that, bro. Like, the way you're saying it like it's a bad thing. Last I checked, like, this is important work. So, and I'm on the other side of the world. And even though I'm here and I'm not physically in the home, I'm going to be calling to check in to see how they're doing as much as possible. Because every time I step out of my house, every time I go somewhere on the other side of the world, other side of the country, like, I am missing major moments in their lives. Major moments, even the little things. Like, there's certain, like, little moments that have happened around our home that, we remember, like, we capture in photos, and they stick with us forever, like, because of the amount of joy or sadness that came in that moment. And so, I'm missing a lot. So I'm calling bare minimum 2-3 times a day while I'm gone, if not more in some cases, just so I can get updates, so I can check in, see how my kids' days were, see how my wife's day is going, making sure that, like, the people on my wife's job know how great she is, and they ain't, underestimating her abilities and how she adds value in that company. Hell yeah, I'm checking in, fam. So, like, so it's like, that's what I'm talking about always being present. Always working hard to ensure our best is what they inherit. We're all we're all scared to death that our kids are going to pick up the worst of us. So like just being conscious of like putting our best effort in as much as humanly possible and showing them, if we want them to be them best selves, then we got to show them like what our, doesn't mean we hide our flaws, right? But it also means that like we got to be consciously working toward bettering ourselves if we want our children to be better. Simple as that. And then lastly, it says plenty good in both my girls. Most important work I put in this world, watching their futures unfurl. Self-explanatory, but like if you're not a parent and you don't know this already, if you're thinking about having kids, when you finally make that decision, just understand you are signing up to do the hardest work you will ever do in your life. If you're signing up to be in a relationship with another person, male or female, right? That is hard work. That is hard work. It is not something to take on lightly. If y'all are choosing to build a life together, and just understand that the moment y'all choose to have children together, you are signing up to do the hardest thing you've ever done in your life. Something that you will likely not get a whole lot of praise for doing, because this is a choice you made, right? And you're doing what you're supposed to do. So it ain't a whole bunch of accolades or rewards that are going to be given, and sure as hell not money for doing that job. You know what I mean? And even when you get money, it ain't a lot. So, yo, just making sure I say that. Now, the thing I wanted to talk about is when I did this song for the first time ever in LA, tears. I could barely get through this verse without like, yo, because I'm away from home. I'm not with my wife. I'm not with my kids. And even if they were there, I probably would have been broke up on stage the same way. But it was a hard track. It was a hard verse to get through. So anyway, let the joint play, and then we'll do this last verse, and then we're going to wrap it up for the day, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me so long and for sticking through this long-ass breakdown. All right, here we go.
The last song I ever write. I pray that my words have been the guiding light. And if it's the last breath I ever take, I pray that my life inspires something great. And if it's the last time I look in your eyes, I pray you know I love you after our goodbyes. And if it's the last song we ever do, at least we tried to make something beautiful. Stone unturned. Tap into the God within, so prayers don't go unheard. Do the work, never let your title go unearned, especially when you're in the jam, so your rep is well preserved.
Man. All right, so the last verse of the joint. So it says, never take your life for granted, leave no stone unturned. So like, this verse is a short verse again, like, it's only 8 bars. And part of what I do right here where it says never take your life for granted and leave no stone unturned. So, yo, like, don't like understand that even having a life, at all, like just physically being here, right? When so many are not, like, is a blessing. Even when it feels like the world is burning down around you, it's still a blessing, because there are so many people around you who wish some of their loved ones were still here, even with all the chaos going on. And so that's one. But then this verse is when I start to kind of get back on my wordplay thing. Through most of the song, like, I'm being like pretty straightforward, which if you listen to a lot of my stuff, there's usually a ton of wordplay in it. But this is when I start to do a little more wordplay in the very end, especially when we drop the beat out and all of that, so you can really hear what's being said. So never take your life for granted. So, but then like granted sounds like granite, right? And then I said leave no stone unturned, right? So, this is, like I said, this is when we start I'm still saying the stuff I've been saying, but now I'm gonna play with the words a little bit. And then it says tap into the God within, so prayers don't go unheard, right? Like, shout out to those of you, like who have certain beliefs and stuff like that, believe in something greater than yourself. One of the things I tell folks, And to be clear, like I don't subscribe to any one religion at this point in time in my life. I believe in something greater than me. Whether we call it God, the universe, like whatever word makes you feel better. You know what I mean? But like for me, I definitely believe that there's something greater than us at work. But I also understand that human beings have a limited understanding, right? Like at best of how the universe works, you know what I mean? And so therefore, even when we try to define it, we're doing the best we can to define something that is greater than us with the limited like resources, vocab, and intelligence we have. There's a great quote from George Lucas where he says, where I think he was talking to Oprah or somebody. He was like, man's universe on the scale is at best, I can't remember if he said like a 5 or something. It was a number that even when you were doing scale to 1 to 10, it didn't sound very high. And he was like, man's understanding on the scale is basically this. But what man doesn't realize is that the scale is infinite. That right there, you know what I'm saying? Such a gem. So when I say tap into the God within, so prayers don't go unheard. In a lot of different like faiths and stuff, let's focus on Christianity for a second. A lot of times people, like when they practice this particular faith, they talk about themselves as being a child of God, right? So if you are a child of God, right, then what would that make you? If you are a child of God, then what would that make you? Okay? I want you to think about that for a second, right? So when I say tap into the God within, so prayers don't go unheard. So just make sure that when you're praying, you understand how much power you have as well in making that prayer come to life. You know what I mean? So, because understand that, yeah, sure, there's the Most High, right? There's God, there's whatever you call it, the universe, etc., right? But regardless to what you believe in, you believe that you are a product of that creator, which means that the Most High gave you everything you need to make most of the things that you want to happen in your life possible. So tap into the God within so prayers don't go unheard. Next line is, do the work. Never let your title go unearned. So if someone in other words, if your dad, if your supervisor, if your mom, if your team leader, whatever it is, right? Whatever title has been bestowed on you or you've chosen to take, like you've taken on those responsibilities, do your job. Be great. Be great. I used to say to all the kings and queens I used to work with, Oxon Hill Middle and all the schools I've worked with over the years, like, yo, I'm talking to a kid and they falling short a little bit. And I'm like, yo, you need to do X, Y, and Z. Yeah, but it's hard. I'm so like, yo, but why wouldn't you want to be great? Like, okay, you can do the bare minimum, but why wouldn't you want to be great? It's like, all right, so get focused. Like, yo, you know what you need to do. You saying you want this comes with that. So why wouldn't you want to be great? You know what I mean? And then the next line is especially when, wordplay again. So do the work, never let your title go unearned, especially when you're in a jam, so your rep is well preserved. See what I did there? No? Tough crowd. So anyway, when I say, when you're in a jam, then preserves, right? Fresh preserves, jam. See what I'm saying? So especially when you're in a jam, so your rep is well preserved. And so there's the wordplay, but what I'm basically saying is like, never let your title go unearned, right? So that way when the tough times come, people sometimes who like know you, even when you are in tough times, they aren't as worried about whether or not you're going to be able to achieve the goal because of the reputation you've built for yourself. So again, the line is, never let your title go unearned, especially when you're in a jam. So your rep is well preserved, right? So yeah, man, let's get to those last few bars. And I'm sorry about the freezing. This time of day is always tough around these parts. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. And shout out to those of you toughing it out, man. I know we've been going, we're about to wrap up. But here we go.
We all emerge as someone we're proud of. Smiling back at us in the mirror, feeling empowered. Silence the doubters till your inner champion is louder. Tend to your garden. Gift yourself your own flowers and know that if it's...
All right. So last lines are as follows, where it says, I pray we all emerge as someone we're proud of, smiling back at us in the mirror, feeling empowered. Silence the doubters, till your inner champions louder. Tend to your garden and give yourself your own flowers. Most of that is, all of that is pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, man, like my hope for all of us is that, like, we can look back at the lives that we're living, or we can look at the current lives that we're living and stuff, and be proud of who we are and who we're becoming. You know what I mean? And understand that, there's still more room for growth, right? And when we look at ourselves in the mirror, when we reflect on our lives and we look at ourselves and see our actual reflection, that we feel like, our younger selves, our current selves, we're all smiling back. You know what I mean? To be able to appreciate how far we've come and what's ahead as well. And then, like, and understanding that, like, that in those moments, like when we start to feel proud of ourselves, it starts to silence some of that doubt, the external doubt and the internal doubt. And hopefully that inner champion that lives within you starts to become a bit louder than that devil that's on the other shoulder saying, I don't know. You know what I mean? But most importantly, man, with these seeds that we're sowing, these seeds that we're planting, our actual seeds, our children, or the work that we're doing and stuff, laying foundation for other great things, making sure that we're tending to our garden, we're watering those seeds, man. We're taking care of what we need to take care of. And so when it's all said and done, whether the world gives you your flowers or not, you'll be able to celebrate yourself. You'll be able to be proud of what you built. And this song is very much me taking a moment to look at, like, sometimes it's tough. Sometimes this world makes it very difficult for you to fully appreciate how much you've done, because people are constantly reminding you of how much more you could do, right? And speaking to you somehow like you haven't done enough. And it doesn't mean that you need to be content with where you are and stuff like that. Like, I think it's okay. I think it's okay to want a little more. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about greed. I'm just saying, just understanding that you can always be a little better, and while also acknowledging that you've come a long way. But this world sometimes will spend a lot of times talking about how little, downplaying how much you've accomplished, because they're looking at a super small percentage of the world who may be doing more than you. And they're comparing you to that, not realizing that the group of people that they're thinking of in these moments, they are the most promoted people. They are some of the wealthiest people in the world. And they are like, people love to say the 1%. These people are actually more like the 0.01% of the world who you're being compared to, right? And we don't always take into consideration how much better of a position you may be in than the vast majority of people walking this planet, just by having running water, right? Just with like 2 or 3 things that's going on in your life could literally be better than like 75% of the people in the world. And you would never know, because we're literally comparing ourselves to a minority globally that maybe doesn't even make up 1% of the world. You understand? So, man, spend a little less time focusing on that and refocus your energy on yourself and what you're building, what type of legacy you're building, not just like in terms of your successes and stuff like that are based on monetary successes, but what you're building in terms of what you're doing with your family, what your impact and stuff is on the people's lives and stuff who have the most access to you, and learn to appreciate that while also inspiring to be a little bit better every day. So, man, that's the song. I'll go ahead and let the rest of it ride out. And then if y'all got questions, y'all can drop them in the chat. But I'm going to get ready to wrap up.
Last song I ever write, I pray that my words have been a godly light. And if it's the last breath I ever take, I pray that my life inspires something great. And if it's the last time I look in your eyes, I pray you know I love you after our goodbyes. And if it's the last song we ever do, At least we tried to make something beautiful. Amen. Amen.
Yeah, man. Hey, thank y'all, man. I hope y'all enjoyed that lyric breakdown. That has been Anatomy of a Verse, and that's actually our show for today. I'm sorry if I missed any questions from before, but I know we've been rocking for a while. We just hit the 2-hour mark, so I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of here. But man, super shout out to all of y'all, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in today. Glad to be back. Next week, I'm gonna do my best to get a special guest here, Keon Ferogi, to come in so we can talk about Ferugi, to talk about our new song, The Destination, and do a lyric breakdown where hopefully he's going to spend a little bit more time breaking down the lyrics. And then what I'll do is be confirming certain things while also tapping into some of the things that like are maybe a little bit more personal than he realized, you know what I mean? But thank y'all for the comments on the song, man. I'm glad y'all love this song. Really, really proud of this record. And shout out to y'all streaming the hell out of it because on just checking out the update of like how well it's performing so far, it is at, wait, yeah, man, this song is literally, put that up to the screen. See if y'all can see that. Let's go around this way, breaking things. This is where we are so far. You know what I mean? Over 4,000, 4,100 plays so far today on Spotify alone, not including all other platforms. So that's all y'all, man. Thank y'all. I'm really happy that the song's connecting with so many people. Super props to like all of the musicians involved. Shout out to Uyama, Hiroto, and everyone else who played on the record. And big shout out to my brother Marcus D. I'll see you soon, bro. See you in like a week, a little over a week. And on that note, man, I'll see the rest of y'all next week. Yeah, that's it. All right. For those who've never made it to the end of the show, it is time for my youngest daughter's favorite part of the show, and she should be home from school as well as my older daughter. So I'm gonna go spend some time with them. And yeah, man, y'all have a great one. So let's get into that part. For those who've never heard it before, you're welcome. Who made it to the end? Who made it to the end? You made it to the end. Who made it to the end? Who made it to the end? You made it to the end. Yo, 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 yeah, 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 yo, 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 yeah, yeah. Who made it to the end? You made it to the end. Who made it to the end? You made it to the end. Who made it to the end? You made it to the end. Yo, 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 yo. Subscribe, like, do whatever you like. Stay subscribed, like, do whatever you like. That's right.